Hello everyone, this is ACCA Amit Kumar. I am a member of ACCA UK. I have been training on IFRS since year 2009. I began my journey in IFRS training at Parent Corporation and since then have been training chartered accountants on IFRS. I have worked with KPMG, TMF Group. Until recently, I was a director with Accounting Advisory Services Video India. In this tenure, I have trained thousands of chartered accountants, and during the peak season of IFRS, like India was going to move to IFRS in year 2015. First April 2015 was the date announced by the government. So in the year 2014, 15, 16 was the period when all the chartered accountants in the country were gearing up to have knowledge of IFRS. Now during this peak season of IFRS, I was the lead trainer at KPMG, not only at Delhi but as well as Mumbai. And along with it, I was traveling the length and breadth of the country to train the employees of companies where we were implementing Ind AS. We were training them on Ind AS. And after KPMG, I joined TMF Group as senior manager and was the knowledge management head. After a brief stint with TMF Group, I left TMF Group and I started Viviana Business School. During that time, I wrote a book on Ind AS known as Ind AS Concepts in One Day. This was for chartered accountants who wanted to have knowledge of Ind AS in a short span and who were willing to be confident on the knowledge of Ind AS. So since I had been training on IFRS since many years now, so I thought that my concise and crisp knowledge can be useful to students as well as chartered accountants. Students who are appearing for CA final students can get benefited out of it. So I thought to help them out by sharing the insights on Ind AS through this book, Ind AS Concepts in One Day. After this, I joined Video India as Director Accounting Advisory Services and was responsible for setting up the accounting advisory practice at Delhi and was also Head Learning Solutions Pan India. During this tenure, I was responsible for training teams across India. I was training the team members from audit and assurance, due diligence, transfer pricing, who were required to have knowledge of IFRS. All my experience till date makes me eligible to share the strategy with you how you are going to pass diploma in IFRS exam in the last minute. Your exam is scheduled on 6th of December. Now what should be your state of mind and how you should prepare in this last minute so that you can pass this examination easily. I know you all are at various situations. One of you must have gone through all the recordings, have gone through all the lectures, have gone through the book. What should be your strategy in the last minute? What you should read and what you should study? Because you know all the content, you have read the book thoroughly, you are fully knowledgeable. Now what should be your strategy in this last minute? So I would recommend that since you have all the knowledge, you should apply all the knowledge in practicing revision question bank. Because examination is more of practice as well as knowledge. So it's about exam techniques as well as, it's not just about knowledge. If you know what things you need to keep in mind, if you know what are the tactics you need to follow in the examination hall and how the examiner asks those questions, if you've gone through the practice revision kit, you become very well aware of the strategy to go through the examination and also answer perfectly well. You also need to be careful about the verbs being used in the examination, like evaluate, illustrate, describe, discuss. Should be careful about what is being asked. Always read the requirement in the question. If you read the requirement, you are able to formulate the answer in your head, and according to the plan in the head, you are able to answer your questions. Now while you are practicing revision question bank in this moment, the normal tendency is that if you are doing a question, you will go back and look at the answer. I would recommend please do not look at the answer. Why I am saying so? Because when you are reading a question and when you are looking at the answer, your mind thinks that you will get the answer within 10 minutes. Because you have been preparing your mind, it doesn't come under any pressure because you're reading a question and the pressure doesn't reap inside us because we believe, our mind thinks that I'm reading a question and if there is any pressure, if I'm not able to sort out any area or if I require any clarity on any aspect, I have the answer book at the back of the book and I can easily go and look at the answer. I have the answer at the back of the book and I can easily go back and look at the answer. So the normal tendency is that we read the question and we look at the answer. But this can prove to be a disaster in the examination hall because what happens when you read the question in the examination hall, your mind has been trained to look at the answer after 10-15 minutes. And after 10-15 minutes, if the answer is not provided, it becomes tensed. It is not able to function at the level it should function. So my recommendation to you will be, while practicing the questions, practice the question. If you do not know some of the concepts, please go back to the book, clear your concepts, come back again, attempt the question again. Now in this situation, your mind knows that unless you clear the concept, you will not be able to crack the question. So it becomes the responsibility of the mind to understand the concept. Clear the concept, practice the question. After you have done so, in the third attempt, you can look at the answer. But make sure that you have practiced this question twice before looking at the answer. First, while practicing for the first time, if you do not know the concepts, please clear your concepts. Second time, practice again. Third time, you can look at the answer. That way, you are pressurizing your mind to think while calculating. Because if you do not allow it to think while practicing, if you do not allow it to fail while you are practicing, how can you win in the examination hall? So do not be fearful. When you are practicing questions, a fear reaps in the mind that I am not able to know this. What shall I do now? Because if you do not allow that fear to happen, your mind will not function at the level it should function. Allow it to happen. Do not panic. Simply believe in yourself. If you have read the content even once, if you have listened to the lectures even once, all the content is in your head. You simply need to remain cool and calm to be able to pull out that answer from your head. Because if you have heard this once, your mind understands it, your mind knows it. It's a matter of now simply believing in yourself. If you believe in your content, if you believe that you read it once, your mind will be able to produce that answer through the concept clarity you have gained while practicing. The second set of people may be in a situation wherein they have not been able to gone through. The second set of people who may be in a situation wherein they have not been able to go through all the recordings, but they have gone through some of the recordings. They have not been able to read the entire book, but they have read some of the topics. And they believe that they still have some time to go through the recordings and they'll be able to do it. I would recommend that if you still believe that if you can go through the content within 1 or 2 days, you should go through the recordings. And after that, do not try to read the book. Because if you try to read the book in this time, you will not be able to focus on how to practice your exam questions, because practicing your exam questions is much more important than achieving knowledge now. You can practice exam questions now in this moment, like when you have knowledge of some of the topics, when you have gone through most of the recordings and only few of them are left. Make sure you finish all your recordings within a period of 1 or 2 days, and then listen to the content, and then immediately begin practicing, then trying to read the book in this last moment. Reading the entire book will not be possible. Trying to gain knowledge will not be possible. The only thing which can happen now is practice as much as you can. And I've shared the strategy how to practice. Attempt the question. Try to clear your concept. If you don't get some of the points, attempt the question again. If you still do not get some points, then you can have a look at the answer, so that your mind gets trained that it will not get an answer easily. Now there is a third category of people who could not go through the book, who have not read anything, who did not get time, who tried everything but they could not do it. They paid the fees. They believe that they are going to fail. They believe that they have not been able to touch the content. Some of you may be feeling that, can this examination be postponed? Can their fees be postponed? There is no choice. I would recommend there is no choice. Now all you have to do is now try to win in the last moment. How you can win in the last moment? Now how you can save yourself with the money which you have already spent to pass this examination. Even you can pass. I know you're not believing it. Even you can pass in this last moment. Now what you need to think about? You need to think about your experience gained till date. You're already knowledgeable. You have given many examinations in life. You have given many accounting examinations in life till date. Bank on the knowledge gained till date. Bank on the experience gained till date. You do not need to go through any content to have knowledge. You are already knowledgeable. If you would have gone through that content, your knowledge would have got strengthened. But if you didn't do it, doesn't matter. You are knowledgeable, you are experienced, you still can win in the last moment. But the only thing you need to do is practice. Revision kit should be in your hand in this last moment. If you are able to practice questions in this last moment, and if you are able to relate to those areas which are doubtful and which you are not clear about, if you can clear concepts about those areas which are being asked in the examination, you still can pass this examination even in this last moment. How am I able to say so? Because in the last 10 years I've been training chartered accountants, and I have seen this strategy working with people. I have seen many people who had met me 1 week before examination and they had exactly applied the strategy and they were able to get through the examination. I've seen people who were very knowledgeable during my classes, who were answering all the questions, but some of them were ruining their paper in the examination hall. I'll share the strategy. What should be your state of mind 1 day before examination? What should be your plan? When you should sleep? When you should have lunch? And all that. Now, if someone is following, depending on which situation you are in, you may be prepared. Second situation is half prepared. Third situation is you're not done anything. So depending on whatever state you are in, the only book which can save you in the last moment is Practice Revision Kit. If you are able to practice in the last moment, believing in yourself that you still can pass, you can easily pass this examination. But you should practice in the manner I have told you. Now there are people who have spent enough time, who are knowledgeable, but they do not know how to give exam. They know how to study, they are very knowledgeable, they are very intelligent, they've gone through the content, they've done everything. But what should be your behavior, what should be your state of mind one day before examination and on the day of the examination? What should be your strategy one day before exam and on the day of the examination? Now since your examination is on 6th of December, I would recommend everyone to finish your preparation on 5th of December by 5 p.m. Don't give your mind a date of 6th December that your exam is on 6th of December. Your exam is on 6th December, but your preparation should finish by 5 p.m. 5th of December 2019. Please mind it. You can write this on a piece of paper and paste it on the wall that your preparation should finish by 5 p.m. 5th of December 2019. Now what purpose this will serve? Your mind will be able to gear up, to gain and accumulate knowledge in the last moment, able to practice, and you are going to put all your efforts till this moment. Now what should be done after 5 p.m.? You can leave the book. Spend time with your family. Relax, laugh with them, whatever you can do to enjoy yourself. Please do all those activities which you can do in the last 2-3 hours, one night before examination. During dinner time, sit with everyone, tell everyone that you're going to pass this examination tomorrow. You're very happy, you're relaxed, and you have prepared well. You have done your job. You should sleep exactly at 9:30 or 10 p.m. Though I know you're not habitual to sleeping at 10 p.m. But try to sleep relaxed. Do a summary of the revision. Do a summary revision in last moment. Then what are the key points of each accounting standard? If you're able to remember the key points of each accounting standard immediately before sleeping, your mind will grasp that knowledge throughout the night. And if you sleep on time at 10 p.m., you'll get enough rest so that your mind is able to pass the examination the next day. Your mind is able to use all the knowledge you have till date to help you to pass the examination. Sleep on time. Do not try to read, do not try to prepare one night before examination. That will be a total disaster. This disaster is also done by people who are knowledgeable, who have practiced enough, who have been regular to classes, who have attended all the lectures, but in spite of how and what they did one night before examination, if they had spent reading the content, preparing, they are wasting their time. They are draining their body one night before examination. Please don't do it. Sleep at 10 p.m. Try to sleep at 10 p.m. Relax, enjoy your day. Believe in yourself that you have passed this examination. Do not set alarm even, because your exam is after 2 p.m. So do not set alarm. Allow yourself to wake up on your own without any fears. The only thought in your mind should be that you are going to wake up winning this examination. Now in the morning, the first thing you will be doing is again do a revision, short summary of all the standards. Have a heavy breakfast. Why I am saying so, have a heavy breakfast, so that your food gets digested by the time it is noon. Have some light food before you head into the examination hall. The reason being, if you don't have breakfast in the morning, you will end up having heavy lunch, and when you enter the examination hall, your mind is busy digesting the food and you are demanding answers from your mind. How will it give? Your mind can function properly only if it is free. But if you do not allow your mind to be free in the examination hall, if it is digesting food, you had heavy lunch, how can you expect answers from your mind? And when you step out of the examination hall, immediately you remember, because your food is digested by then and your mind is able to give you answers, all the answers you wanted. So the best strategy is have a heavy breakfast so that your food gets digested by noon. Have some light food or juice or some snacks which should be enough to give you energy for the next 3-4 hours, and then head into the examination hall. Now while you're entering the examination hall, enter with the thought that you are going to win this exam, you're going to pass this examination. Another thing which I forgot to mention is that while you're leaving home, please do not carry your books along with you. Why I am saying so? Because you are going to create pressure on your mind to cover the entire content of the book in the last minute. That is unnecessary pressure being created on it. Whether you studied anything or not, whether you are prepared or not, whatever your situation, please leave your books at home. Don't carry them in the examination hall. Another thing, do not allow anyone to come closer to you to ask questions. Now these are tyrants who will bother you immediately before you enter the examination hall. They'll simply ask you, what is leases? What happened in revenue from contracts with customer? What is the category of financial instruments? How share-based payments are going to be calculated? The person will go immediately after asking these questions. Now what will happen with you? You are thinking that what if a question comes from these topics? Do I know them? You begin to start recalling the content. You begin to start reminding yourself whether you know it or not. And if you're not able to remember this content, you come under pressure. So while you are entering the examination hall, you're already under pressure that if that topic comes, and your first focus is that when you look at the question paper immediately, when it is handed over to you, you feel that I hope there is no question from share-based payments or leases or revenue, because the person outside the hall asked me these questions, and if this question comes, I'll not be able to do it. Please tell everyone to get lost. If someone asks you this question, please tell them to get lost. I'm here to give exam, and I'm going to give all my answers only to the examiner. I'm here to relax. Sit on a table, have a cup of coffee, smile at people, feel superior in your mind that everyone is murmuring around with you with their books, but you are very superior. You know everything. You are here to win. You've already passed the examination. You need to give some positive affirmations to you and believe in yourself that whatever knowledge you have, you will be easily able to pass this examination. So when you enter the hall, you should believe that you already won. When you sit on your seat, you should feel that you already won. You should place your pen and your calculator as if it is a sword. You are here to win in the examination hall. Your focus should be, now the final strategy. Your focus in the examination hall should be focus on what you know. Do not focus on what you do not know. If your focus is on the questions which you know, you will be attempting them first and you will be able to secure marks in them. Because if you focus on what you do not know, your mind will be under pressure and you will end up dealing with questions which will create tension in your mind and which will create nervousness in your mind. You will not be able to even do the questions which you know. So first attempt the questions which you know. First focus on the things which you know. Focus on only what you want. You want to win, you want to pass the exam. Focus, believe in your mind that you have already passed the examination. Now this is the strategy you should follow in the examination hall as well. Believe in yourself, focus on what you know, attempt the questions which you already know you can easily do. Then in the final last 30-40 minutes, you can spend time into trying things, experimenting, in trying to do the questions which you don't know or which you believe that you do not know. Another strategy is that some of the people lose marks while balancing the balance sheet. Now balancing the balance sheet may give you 1 or 2 marks, but they may take away 15 or 20 minutes of your time. So the best strategy is that total up on one side, total up on the another side. If it matches, well and good. Otherwise leave. Otherwise, if you want to feel satisfied, write the same amount on the other side and move on. Because if you try to now do a forensic audit within the examination hall that what went wrong, why this is not matching, you'll end up wasting your 15-20 minutes. Instead of gaining that 1 mark in trying to balance the balance sheet, try to attempt the next question which is of 20-25 marks. If you try to attempt the next question which is of 20-25 marks, in the next 15-20 minutes, you have the chances of gaining 15 to 20 marks than trying to gain 1 mark. Better it is lose 1 mark to gain 15-20 marks. Focus on what you know, attempt what you know first. In the examination hall, fight with the examiner only in the end. Be examiner's friend during the period you know all the things. Fight with the examiner only in the end. So that even if you get nervous, even if you are in terrible state of mind, it's only in the last half an hour. You already won the examination, you already passed the examination, and in the last moment also there are chances that you may gain some marks because the fear of losing the exam has already gone. You already know that you passed the examination, so your fight will become better in the end and you will be able to recall all the knowledge and all the content, and maybe you will be successful in attempting the last 30-minute questions as well, and you will be easily able to get through. When you come out of the examination hall, do not discuss anything with anyone. Straight away go to home, have a relaxed sleep, enjoy your day. So this is how we should plan to give examinations. I believe you can easily pass this examination, and your state of mind will determine how you can win in the examination. Your state of mind in this last minute. You are going through various thoughts in this last minute. Whether I am going to fail, whether I am going to pass. Will I be able to pass? Will I pass or not? I should not have paid the fees. I should have appeared only in June 2020. I should not have paid the fees for December. I was not prepared. I was not getting time. Please set aside all these questions now. You have nothing to lose. The only thing you need to do is fail as many times as you can before you head to the examination hall. During these 5-6 days, fail as many times as you can while you are practicing. The only thing can happen is you can fail. You are not able to do a question. What will be the impact of it? The impact of it is that you are failing alone. You are failing with yourself. But if you are afraid that I am failing again and again, if you be fearful, you lose momentum and you may not even practice and you ultimately lose the examination. Fail as many times as you can while you are practicing, because this failure will not mean anything if you are able to win in the crowd. Fail as many times as you can outside the examination hall, so there are chances of winning in the examination hall. Do not be fearful, do not come under any pressure, do not panic. Even if you begin practicing revision kit, it contains all past examination papers. Even if you begin practicing from now, you still can win in the examination hall, because what you think in the last minute and what you believe in the last minute, and if you are able to touch upon the major points which are going to be tested, which are the pain points, you still can pass in the examination. Because the final thing is that examiner knows which are the areas which will bother you while you are learning IFRS. If the examiner knows these are the areas which will bother you while learning IFRS, the examiner will also use the same pain areas to test your knowledge of IFRS. So it's obvious that if you are facing hurdle in practicing a question, that's actually the question the examiner is preparing to ask in the examination hall. So do not be afraid, attempt all the questions. So now the next question is, how many questions or how much you should practice? Even if you practice 2 questions of consolidated balance sheet, 2 questions of income statement, 1 question of statement of changes in equity, how the appropriation of profits is done between parent and NCI, and even if you do 1 question from each standard, you still can pass this examination. You do not need to do too many things. Do not believe in doing too many things. Do not focus on quantity. Focus on the quality of learning. Focus on clearing the concept in this last moment, because if your concepts are clear, you still can win in this last minute. My next video will be on revision in the last minute. I'll be sharing a summary of all the accounting standards in the last minute, and you'll be able to have an insight of what are the main points you should consider while you are in the examination hall. And through that summary, I'll be able to give you the key areas which you need to keep in mind. So if you know all those key points, you may still be able to pass in the examination hall. Thank you. So this is all for the strategy video. Thank you very much.
Thanks for watching. Do not forget to click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon. Do like, comment and share. See you next time. Subscribe and hit the bell icon.